Hi guys, it's Carol from Cape Cod Cottage Garden. I'm so excited. We're gonna start seeds today. It's February 1st and I'm gonna start my onions. So I'm gonna do a little experiment with my onions this year. I'm gonna grow 3 different varieties. I'm gonna grow in this container. I'm gonna use just the regular seed starting mix. I have Pro Mix. And then in these, I'm going to do 3 containers like this too, but I'm actually going to use potting soil, the Fox Farm Ocean Forest potting soil. And I just want to see if I use the deeper pots, if the root growth gets longer and I end up with a bit larger onions. I'm just going to do an experiment. So I'm going to try that. So now I'm just going to prepare my soil. So first I'm going to use, this is the potting mix. I'm just going to throw it in my bucket here. This has been sitting opened in my garage, so I am going to actually use some boiling water and mix it in because I don't want fungus gnats. So let's see, I have my boiling water right here. Oop, as I spray everything, oop, just about that much. Let me stir that in, you guys can see. Let me prep all the soil and then we'll come back. I got so excited to start that I didn't even tell you what kind of onions I'm growing. I am like, woohoo! So the first one I'm growing is a Walla Walla onion, a red Weathersfield onion, and the Utah Yellow Sweet Spanish onion. I haven't grown any of these onions before, so hopefully they'll do okay for me. So now I'm going to do the ones in the potting mix. So let me just fill that up. Just giving it a bang. Make sure it's settled in there nice. A little bit more. You can see what I'm doing. Now these I think are 3.5 by 5.5 maybe inch pots, so they're pretty deep. Last year I grew them in this and I did 4 to 5 per square and they did just fine. So for this one I'm going to try to get in a lot, like 15 or 20. So I have it just like a quarter of an inch below the lip, or maybe a little bit more, because the onions want to be a quarter of an inch deep. So I'm going to sprinkle my onion seeds on top and then cover them with a little more soil. So let me do that. I'll be right back. So the first ones I'm going to do are the Walla Walla onions. Sometimes they're colored so you can see them really well. So I sowed about 25 seeds in this one container. So now I'm just going to top it with a little more soil. You just want to kind of sprinkle it on top. About a quarter inch. Don't want to pat it down too hard, but you want it to make good contact with the soil so the seeds stay moist. Try to make it kind of even. One down, a whole bunch to go. Oh, one more thing. Make sure you mark this. I record almost everything I do because I'm constantly forgetting, so I can always look back at the video. But make sure you mark them. So I planted up the 3 onions, and the next thing I'm going to try in the potting mix is my shallots. These are Zabroon shallots. Okay, you plant those up. I'm using not quite as a deep pot for the shallots because they don't get as big. They only get 2 to 3 inches. So I'm going to do that the same way. I'm going to put about 15 or 20 in this one pot. So I just put the soil in, pack it down a little bit, leave some space at the top, place my seeds on top, and then cover it with another quarter inch of, in this case, potting soil. So the next thing I'm going to do is stock the same onions, but in this package, and I'm going to, this container, but I'm going to use my Pro Mix. So let me put that in here. Sorry, it's a giant bag, so, ooh, it's all hard. Please don't fall apart. Please don't fall apart. Make a mess all over my. So as you can see, the Pro Mix is very much, it's a lighter weight. It's got a lot of perlite or vermiculite in it. a stick. And just break it all up. I mean, it's really dried out. I am going to saturate this because sometimes when you're using a soil-less starting medium, it won't absorb the water if you just, if you don't pre-wet it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. First, I'm just breaking it up. I think I put too much in this bucket. What do you think? But I can use it. Oh, it's all dried out. This was sitting in my garage. You can't see my face. This was sitting in my garage all year. And this is the Pro Mix with the biofungicide and mycorrhizide. I used this last year, about halfway through my growing. I did a mix of different mediums last year, and I really like this one. And where I get it a giant bag, and it's, it's not the cheapest, but when you buy it in this giant bag and you shop around, you can find a pretty decent price for it. And it goes a long way. I bought another bag this year because I thought I would need it. Now I'm looking at this bag, it's more than half full. So let me finish doing this, and then I'll wet it and let it cool off, and then I'll start planting up these. Okay guys, it's the next day, because what I did yesterday, I put the boiling water in here, and it was so hot. It was like burning my hands mixing it, so I had to let it cool off because I don't want to kill my plants, my seeds with boiling water. So now I'm going to do the other onion. So I'm just going to fill this tray. It's super messy. I filled it up way too much, my bucket here. Okay, so once I have it filled up, I just give it a bang. Just make sure there's not too many air pockets. And then I'm going to sow the same seeds that I sowed in the big pots. So while I'm doing this, let me just talk a little bit about onions. I mean, I'm no expert, but what I've learned the last few years is that when you're growing onions, there's different types of onions to grow depending on where you live. So if you live up north, you have to grow long day onions. In the middle of the country, you grow intermediate onions, or you can grow either or. And then if you're in the south, you're going to grow short day onions. And it all has to do with how in the summer, how the earth is tilted towards the sun, so we get longer days up here in the north. Most seed packets will say whether it's a long day or a short day onion. So these from MI Gardener do say that on the back. You can see right there. I don't know if it's focusing. It says LD for long day. So if you're in the northeast, or in the north, you're going to want to grow long day onions. And there's 3 different ways to grow onions. I prefer to grow them from seed. Before I started growing, I did a lot of research. And I think for me, this is the preferred way. You can buy onion sets, which are already sprouted. And you just plant in the little, looks like grass, like the little sprout of onion. And you just plant those in the ground. Or you can grow the little bulbs, the little miniature onions that you just grow in the ground. So I'm just going to go ahead and plant these up. I don't think you need to watch me do that. I'm going to do the same process I did before. I'm going to put like 4 or 5 in these because these are a lot smaller, and cover them up with a little soil, mark them, and then I'm going to go ahead and do another deep one with the soilless seed starting mix. So let's go do that. So right before I came down to start sowing some seeds, I took a walk around my yard. It has been miserable here in Cape Cod. The weather has been like freezing rain, gray. I've seen the sun maybe for 1 hour in the last 2 weeks. I'm over it. It's supposed to be sunny this weekend. When the sun comes out here, it's just glorious. I don't know, it warms up really quick. The front of my house, I can sit out there and have coffee outside and without a coat on. It's just because it's south-facing and protected. It's just lovely, and I need it. I don't know if you guys feel the same. But anyways, as I was saying, right before I came inside to sow these seeds, I was out in my yard walking around, and I did see signs of life. First of all, my brain freeze, not heuchera, hellebore, thank you. My hellebores are blooming gorgeous. I should try to insert a picture for you guys. That's the plant that I bought and I left up at my condo, and I forgot about it outside. And it was literally just dried up. It was out for like 2 months. Like, it was literally dead, dry. There was no foliage. It was just an empty pot of dirt. And then Mr. Hubby, I took it down here. Mr. Hubby watered it. And next thing I know, I saw green coming up. So I planted it and it's growing beautiful. So I'm so excited about that. Not only that, I could see that my sedum is starting to come up. Believe it or not, I have ranunculus coming up in my garden, which is weird. I'm sure it might not survive, but I was surprised to see that. And what else? I just saw like little signs of life everywhere. Little tiny shoots of green coming up. I mean, of course, all my bulbs that I planted are starting to come up. It's a little early, but, and like, especially my muscari, it was all up, my grape hyacinth, and the bunnies came and had a little buffet. So they pretty much ate all of it, but I think they'll be okay. They ate the greens, but I think it will push more greens. What else was up? Trying to think. What else did I see out there? I don't know. It was just nice to walk around and see some signs of life. Almost done with this. What time do you guys grow? I was wondering, I was just going to ask a question out there. Does anybody grow cold season flowers? I'm trying some this year. I don't really know what to do, but I'm thinking of, you remember my hoop house in my garden? I have that little cupboard that I grew my brassicas in last year. I'm thinking of getting some greenhouse plastic, covering that and growing out some plants. I'm probably a little late, but it's going to get warm here soon, I hope. Okay, this one's all ready to go. I'm going to put it on the heat mat. It doesn't need light yet. I'm going to put a humidity dome and put it on the heat mat right over here. That's one thing I use. Pardon my appearance. I'm a little bit sloppy today. I'm stepping out of the frame because I want to show you guys this. These things that I get from like when you buy produce or whatever in the grocery store, I use these as humidity domes. They work great, just like that. So a couple of things I've neglected to talk about is when I did the onions with the potting mix was a little bit more moist than I like it, so I didn't water those at all. The next one I did with the Pro Mix is the seedless seed starting mix. It's pretty dry, so I am gonna go ahead and mist the top of these before I put them on the heat mat. The other thing I neglected to do, and I forgot, is I usually put vermiculite. So it comes in a bag like this. And I just take a handful and sprinkle some on top. Oops, that's a little bit too much. To all of my seedlings. This just helps hold in moisture. Some people say it eliminates or helps with dampening off, and also helps with, like, you know, sometimes you can get that little green algae growth on the top. So we'll see if this works. And another thing, when I'm filming down here in my basement, the lighting is horrible down here. So I have a ring light. Oh my gosh, when I looked back at the videos I just took, the lighting was horrible. It was coming down, it was making all my, I looked scary. I'm going to get my hair done today, so I'm kind of a hot mess right now, but I look scary in this video, so I don't even know if I'm going to put it out. But anyways, I try not to be vain, but it was bad. It was bad. So now I'm just going to mist the tops of these and put them on the heat mat. So I just wanted to pop on and do a quick little video about planting onions, because prior to growing onions myself, I didn't realize how early it was you needed to start them. So it's February 2nd now, and I'm actually a little late. I wish I started them a couple of weeks ago. I love growing vegetables that you can store and use all winter, like my carrots and my onions. It's so great. And those fall carrots, the ones I pulled late in the season, were the sweetest carrots I ever had in my entire life. So I encourage it. So anyways, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And until next time, happy gardening.